So today we will discuss about burning desire for awakening. Without burning desire for awakening, we cannot awaken to real self. We cannot experience directly what is permanent peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. But mind cannot live with burning desire, without freedom from the default and deluded mind. There is no burning desire if mind is deluded. Does it mean by the mind is deluded? The deluded mind is looking for peace and happiness outside. Think for it, so simple. If intention in the mind is that, I'm happy because of what I have, so this mind is not looking for happiness within. So it is a deluded mind, it is a projected mind. But it does not mean that I should leave everything outside. You have to be very clear. So deluded mind cannot change without experiencing. Do you remember? Without experiencing the six treasures, that is what we have covered. Or we have just covered intellectually and we don't live into it. It will not work. The six treasures cannot be experienced without discernment and dispassion. You see the sequence. You cannot follow or do fourfold practices without satsang. See another knot. People only listen to satsang when they become human. That is another issue. Why not many people listen to and learn from the Eastern wisdom? So there are two parts, that I'm constantly guided by the animal nature or I'm constantly guided by the human nature. Means I'm using my intellect to make a right choice, then only I can listen to it. So it means there must be some kind of a mental maturity, then only we enter into the journey of the Eastern wisdom. But there is a big danger. Where is that danger? Danger of an ego. Intellectual, and I have understood everything, what you are talking, I'm not in peace. I have understood and I'm not in peace. So this ego comes again and again. In order to keep aside that ego, let us start. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Now you see another rule of Mangalacharan is to keep this ego aside. Just be very clear. The entire sequence is very well designed by our great master. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness for all. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. Now look at one. May there be happiness for all. That is where your ego hurts too much. And I'm very happy. I have a lot of money and I have a wonderful partner. I have a luxury. You see, that is the part of the ego. So that ego also indicates the absence of discernment and dispassion in the human nature and the six treasures. Look at it. You have to reflect. You have to contemplate and reflect every day. Every day. Until we have an intense desire for mumukshu or awakening. Look at the second one, may there be peace for all. And you are sitting in a restaurant eating the food of your choice. You have a lot of money, you also give a lot of tip to the waiter, and your mind is now clouded. It stops thinking. That peace and happiness is inside. So it means so should when I go to the restaurant I should be aware, obviously. When you are talking to your honey, you should be aware. Who will find a partner like me? You see that? Who will find a partner like me? Otherwise, you are a crazy guy. So, this animal nature is easy to tackle, controlled. The ego takes many colors in the shapes. We have to be very clear. Otherwise, what happens? We are a weekend yogi, or we are a yogi when we attend the session, and after that we are a full-time warrior, not trying to do but training the mind to do what I said. You have to live in awareness, not trying to do. That is ego. And educating the mind to do, not to do. Educating the mind to do. One guy read another text and their approach was different. And then he was attending the session in the middle. He interrupted and he said that you are crazy and you are fraud. In this text, it is written like this. So it means my ego is still working behind. So you see that whether you say ego, clouded mind, or delusion can overtake us at any moment, in any situation, in any event, in any relationship. So, what is the best way to remind? It is the satsang. You are attending the satsang, the discernment will come, dispassion will come, six treasures will come, and burning desire will come, provided you do the internal satsang and external. Our masters have not written external and internal satsang, but the way they have explained, I have split into the two. That you listen, learn, and contemplate, reflect, practice, and you daily analyze. It's a modern time, so we have to be logical in a different way. So if you don't analyze and reflect on how the days, how you lived your day, since the last session, it will not work. It will work a little, but it will not work to take you to the burning desire for awakening. And now you can open your eyes. We have already reached to that topic that you need to share. How are you, Vaibhav? Let us start with the Vaibhav today.
Thank you, sir. The weekend was fine. Whenever mind saying something, so I was just telling the mind that you're not should not fall into delusion and this, and then mind became calm. So it was working. It was calm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Sunday is obviously it's a weekend for me also. So instead at the 7, I continue the journey. I just sit down and contemplate and reflect. Just continue. Oh, you are abiding into that peace, okay, happiness, and then continue. So I extend that hour. Normally on the weekend, who will care? Let us wake up. If I wake up at 6, then I should wake up at 8. No. A seeker does not do that. How are you, Dennis?
Yes, it's similarly, the weekend was quiet for me, and I didn't really communicate with anyone except ChatGPT and my honey, and those were very pleasant and helpful. Uh, so it was all fine. And, I'm doing my practice regularly, and on Sunday I usually take 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour before going to bed, uh, and then contemplation and reflection during the day. And so, no challenges encountered so far.
Beautiful. Yes, it's very good to communicate with the chat GPT and also the partner. You see, this mindset. Mindset is not ready to enter into anxiety, not ready to react. So, at a very subtler level, it is the part of the ego. The ego is not there. Or you can say the ripe ego is there, or right ego is there. That perception should be there all the time. Then what happens? Then burning desire will naturally live in your mind. How are you, Stephen?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. It was a really really good weekend. My as you know, my wife is a event planner, and her weekends when she has an event, and this past weekend was a huge event. It's pure chaos, and it's just something waiting to happen, and I've always been rattled by it, which is typically why I'm not on a Saturday call because something went sideways before, an hour before the thing's ready to start, and so on and so forth. But this weekend, a change took place. And as a sports analogy, Friday night, usually I do a reflection of my day on Friday, but Friday was pretty mellow. So I actually did a pregame on what Saturday was going to look like and how to make sure that I don't allow it to disrupt my space, that I'm probably going to miss meditation. It's probably going to disrupt my entire day. It's probably going to be just pure chaos and just deal with it. And it was for her, but I immersed myself in myself and just took everything as it came, had no reaction to it. And it was almost as if time slowed down. And I realized during the moment that I said, every situation, I realized we talked about it, every situation is an opportunity to learn. And
Yeah.
I just watched what was going on, and it didn't matter to me what he was experiencing or what was going on to anything else or anyone else outside. It was not allowing myself to react to it. And I just stayed calm through it. And it's kind of like if you played sports or an instrument, you get into that they call the zone, and you're just immersed in the thing and nothing could go wrong and whatever it was. And I was just looking at this and going like, wow, this is incredible. And at the end of the evening, it was, being able to look back on it, there was just so much learning within it. And yesterday just continued, and this morning feel great. So thank you.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes. It's a detail. The moment you start with the detailing explanation, it means you have awareness definitely throughout the day. That is another part we should also take into account. I'm giving you a lesson. Am I aware? Yes. No, if you are not aware, how can you give a lesson? That is one part of the awareness. Speaking, whatever you have in your mind, you just come out. No. Behind that, there is an observer. So gradually that observer grows and takes you into a burning desire. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Yeah, so though we have a traditional calendar and traditional work week in our lives, Awakening doesn't. So, I didn't really, from when I think it was Dennis, or no, actually Vipo said, Sunday, like, to me, just the days sort of, other than I have different routines on the days, they just seem to be the same. And so I still do my practice. I still
Beautiful.
observe throughout the day. We've got a young, the son of our business partner from the UK, staying with us right now for 3 months, and we've got a renter in our guest house here for 14 months who's become instant family almost. So we've got this interesting dynamic going around our household with all these new people around us, and it's just, it's fun. It's really easygoing, and I think our easygoingness maybe reflects on them, and if that reflects back on us, theirs reflects back on us. So it was very smooth. Thank you.
Beautiful. You see that material living, that is one aspect of it, and then conscious living, that is second aspect. And when we know the principles, then there is a joy of conscious living, whatever the situation, even that we have on a day, we pass in a peace and happiness. Beautiful. Yes, however, yes. Did you want to?
Also not only talk to chat, but Claude's become my new friend too. So.
Claude, yes. Okay. Claude is also good, yeah. Perplexity is also better. I have started using Perplexity. I was using ChatGPT, and then I use Claude, and now I start using Perplexity. Seems to be much focused and better. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good, thank you. I like, something I took away from just our opening is not focusing at all on the doing, but focus more on the being and all of our tools. And the only doing then is the reflection and the contemplation when something disturbs us, so that we can figure it out and just, again, focus on the being. So we really don't have too much to do, just be. And if we're disturbed, then still not a lot to do, just recognize it and then maybe understand where it's coming from, what enemy.
Yeah.
Or neighbor.
Yes. The moment you see that what happens, it is always good idea through reflection to move into the state of being. Internally, when you move into the state of being, your work becomes a play and a fun. You don't think that as if you are working. It is going on, it will be completed, and it will be done. That attitude leaves us with a burning desire. Christina, Raghu, you seem to be very busy nowadays. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I am definitely seemingly busy and trying to come back to being. And on some days it's easier than others. But I can notice when I can do that, the anxiety quells and things do flow, and then I can watch when the neighbors take over, and it can feel like ping pong a little bit.
Yeah, we have to be consciously working on it, not trying to do, but educating the mind to move to the state of being. We cannot try to be in the state of being, otherwise it continues to remain an effort. And that comes because of our habit and delusion. How are you, another Christina? Then I'll go to Samir. Yes.
I have been in a very it's been a very slow weekend as well, and long weekend. My honey he's going to work just a little bit today, but this weekend he usually works all the time. And so it was really, I've just shifted into being not only the observer, but kind of also being really great, like just being in gratitude. And that has brought me a lot more calm with just having that gratitude be flowing through all the little things. So it's like we didn't have any strenuous plans for the weekend. We didn't have strenuous work. And we just went with the flow. And I was very grateful for that. But also, when I had a call from my mom that my grandpa had a surgery that he just didn't tell anyone about, and the old me would have gotten on a flight and been there immediately. But then I've now learned that we can't control. There's things we can't control. We can only control ourselves. So I took that opportunity to move into the Mangalacharam, be in peace, send peace to him, send peace to all my family that is now worried, and he is okay. But the old me, I'm very shocked, honestly, with how I reacted with that. But it's been in peace, and it's a lot easier than being in stress and anxiety and
beautiful.
So yeah.
Beautiful. You picked up the sense of gratitude. Every time anything happens outside, my friends, anything outside, oh, it happened. Existence is so grateful. What is the teaching here? Don't, so it will help you not to remain attached, not to be bound, not to be clouded by the thoughts of likes and dislikes. We cannot change the event outside, but we can change our perception. So I told you that Mangalacharan helps you to perceive the reality, and then you deliberately recognize. It becomes a gratitude. Gratitude. Oh, thanks God, you have given me an opportunity to express the teachings of my master in a session. While I was returning from taking a bath, my mind had this thought. So what happens when you have this thought? You're feeling your sense of belongingness, your sense of awareness, and your perception changes completely. How are you, Samir? I'm sorry I called you the last.
Sir, lot of things are happening, and whatever is happening is for good. I am not giving much value to unnecessary happiness, unnecessary respect, unnecessary desires. So life is becoming more peaceful day by day. And before, the mind used to give arguments in favor of anxiety. Now mind gives arguments in favor of peace. Means mind educates me in a particular situation to think wisely and get into peace as quickly as possible.
Beautiful. That is the journey of the Eastern wisdom, and without satsang, even when you are not with the teacher, it will never happen. Why? No, I'm very intelligent. I can study the text and I can get there. I have given the argument in favor. How do you understand that? Because when you study the text, the argument is normally coming from the ego. It always has its own interpretation. In satsang, when you are listening and learning from a teacher who is acting as a representative of your real self, that gives you the deep insight. That is what is known as the satsang I told you. Satsang means company of the real. You listen and learn. External satsang and the internal satsang. Today is the day for a longer practice. So just I remind you, dispassion plus discernment. It is a human upgrade of the mind. Wherever you don't apply this dispassion and discernment, your mind is clouded. That is what the Samir was saying. You train the mind in favor of it, you argue in favor of the Eastern wisdom, or you don't argue. When you don't argue, it is a delusion. When you don't have the discernment and dispassion, you live as a clever, I don't use the word you, we live as a clever animal. We are smart, but driven by ego reactions and craving. That was basically the topic going on in sharing your experiences. So I'm just confirming that. Mindfulness in real conflicts changes the story. Calm, evaluated responses that you all have shared, not instant reaction, quietly transforms relationship at home and in also business. The moment you see, I am attached to being understood, I am averse of being seen as wrong, you simply become aware that, I feel the sense of attachment here. The moment you are aware, you are an observer now, and the moment you are an observer, it loosens hold of the ego. Burning desire is desire minus, I think you all should remember, minus delusion. Plus delusion, ego is there, attachment is there, aversion is there, then there is no burning desire. Then we have an intense desire for peace and happiness outside. It may be for a partner, it may be for the food, it may be for the position, it may be for anything in the world. When you follow all this, then you recognize, and majority of you have recognized that throughout the day, you all lived in peace and calm. Your explanations are different, but the very awareness is the same. You see, the very awareness, very consciousness is the same. The very mental state is the same. That is where the burning desire awakens in you. Stop being a spiritual tourist with a full-time pleasure pass. I think you understand it. It's more for the Gen Z. Stop being a spiritual tourist, but we become a spiritual tourist with a full-time pleasure pass, and that gives you the pain. That gives you the pain. That is why Christina says, I'm still busy. I'm linking it. You have to reflect on it. Wherever you are in the moment of anxiety and stress and duality and a conflict, it is going to take over. Ask yourself, where did I park my happiness today? Ask yourself, return within, in a flash. Where did I park my happiness today? It is already within me. So that conviction is required. It is a part of the 6 treasures. And then you ask, the moment you have an anxiety reaction, am I a tourist or a pilgrim? Ask yourself. Do I want calm more than I want to be right? Do you see that? I think you all got it. Do I want calm more than I want to be right? Understand, I am right. I am a teacher. Do I want calm more than I want to be right? Pick up these small things. It will help your mind to move into. Many desires, many desires. Now see, many desires, but is one desire leading? I'm summarizing. Burning desire. Many desires on one side, but is one desire leading me? I may have a desire to go to restaurant, to drive, everything, but is one desire leading? Is one desire in me behind all the desires that I'm doing in the world is leading me? I have a burning desire for that, peace and happiness. So it means that peace and happiness is within me. From that center, I am doing, thinking, and speaking and acting in the world outside. But if the mind is busy with the pleasure, then this mind has no bandwidth for freedom. Bandwidth, Dennis knows bandwidth. How much is the speed? No, we check our phone, connection is disrupting internet bandwidth. So if the mind is fully booked negotiating tiny pleasures, social impressions, and micro resentments, it is simply unavailable for burning desire. You cannot have a burning desire. What we are doing on I remember on Saturdays, that Kapila, that great master, says, your Rajo and Tamoguna is playing with you, and still you say that you have a burning desire. It will not work. You don't have to kill all the desires. Last point, and then we will start doing. I told you we don't have to kill all the desires. Then what? Desire minus delusion. Start working. Desire minus. I am very busy, I have a lot of work to do. Let me remove the delusion part. What work I have to do? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. So that fully busyness is gone. Let me do it. I am into the state of being. It is easier said than done, but it will happen. It happens. It happens. It happens. It can happen. The moment I have to get rid of my fully busy attitude, that reactive, that sense of resentment, that sense of busyness, I have to get rid of it. So you apply the discernment. Oh, five activities I have there. For example, I have 6 or 7 sessions. Okay, done. It is not there. I'm just giving an example. So I have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So where is the fully busyness? If there is a session starts at 8, it has to start at 8. 3 sessions cannot start at 8. But the mind confuses that all the 3 sessions will start at 8. So then there is an full busyness. Are you understanding that? Very simple way to explain you. Then we are busy. And when you are busy, then your animal nature. Animal nature, discernment and dispassion has gone. Then desire plus delusion has come, entered into your mind. Then you are not able to argue, according to some, you are not able to argue in favor of peace. You see, this is what happens. Eastern wisdom is an instrument of knowledge. I have been saying you, it only demands a clear understanding. Let us close your eyes. Stage 1. Stage 1, your mind is like a TV stuck on auto scan, showing random channels. News, drama, horror, shopping. So what you do? You don't pay any attention to that mind. You say place, position, and posture. I'm giving you a very pragmatic, practical approach. place, position, and posture. Are you living in a higher awareness? You recognize the discernment and you say goodbye, mind, for a minute. No auto scanning. Let me look at my position, place, and posture. I can bet you your mind will become free. There is a secret behind it. What is the secret? The self is all pervading, but the restless mind forgets this and keeps scattering into the objects. So when you return your mind to the place, position, and posture, you are gathering the scattered attention into one place so that you can work with the power of discernment. You have to listen to this lesson again and again so that you understand I'm explaining in a different way. So, typical experience. What is your typical experience in the first step? Place, position, and posture. I'm giving you this session in a very humorous but full of wisdom. Oh, place, position, and posture makes you aware. Did I lock the door? Yes, I locked the door. Finished. Being comfortable. Turning the mind inward. You turning the mind inward. You already know changing the direction of the mind. And we use unconventional approach. You move the mind on the skin of the body from the top of the head to the toes until you start feeling the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Yes, during that period, you can adjust the cushion, back support, leg position, etc., etc. But once you adjust it, no more movement. That should be understood. So, where I have taken it from Patanjali's Sthir Sukham Asanam. Steady and comfortable posture is asana. So, we have done the practice of asana. You need not to go to the yoga studio to perform advanced postures. You have already done the advanced posture. That is the message of the Patanjali, not mine. I'm not against anything. So second step is done in the stage 1. The third stage is being carefree. Because you have a place, position, and posture, because you experiencing the asana. There's a beautiful definition by another master. I remember, I think I discussed that. Asina sambhavat. Be seated. You see that when president enters the door, everyone stands up. And when the president sits down, everyone sits down. Here, everyone sits down means your 5 sense organs, your 5 motor organs, your mind sits down. That is being comfortable. I'm just giving you a very clear way. Now, the third is being carefree. You can use the same metaphor. You are standing across a road watching the traffic. You are watching the traffic, but you are not the traffic. Did you understand? You are watching the thought, feeling, and emotions, but you are not the traffic. You are not these vehicles on the highways. The moment you think in this way, my friends, you are already in the observer and observed mode, supported by the previous 2 steps. Sometimes what happens, some days, when I'm sitting in for meditation, I follow the 3 step and I move to being carefree. And then it is so much absorption. The observed seems too far from you, and you enter into a self absorption, the last step, last stage of the meditation. It can happen. You may have a glimpse of samadhama uparati titiksha. So you can remind, oh, is there external calm? Yes, it seems yes. Internal calm seems yes. Uparama, yes. Titiksha, yes, I'm ready to tolerate, endure any pain or any discomfort until the meditation is complete. Because I have a conviction coming from the faith. You see all the 6 treasures, and that is the right moment. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. May there be happiness for all. Look happiness within, look happiness everywhere, look happiness in all the beings. You can remind, you can take your mind to your honey partner, happiness, but you perceive happiness. To your kids, you perceive happiness. To your grandparents, you perceive happiness. To the strangers and the neighbors. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Perception and recognition. So normally we have a perception, but we don't have a recognition. And I use that in a different way. I said you see what is real and deliberately recognize that peace is your essential nature. So when you deliberately recognize for few sessions, what happens? You recognize existence is manifesting that peace and calmness in you. No role of the ego to play. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness for all. Sometimes you may get tears in your eyes. Am I complete? What I have been doing since my birth. I have been looking for my sense of completeness in position, in relationship, in wealth, in food, and in long list. Come on. Again, I'm used that, seems to be a better word. I argue for the sake of peace. Mind must change. Otherwise, we cannot reach deeper into the Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. I have to see, my friend, that all my waking hours manifest out of the auspiciousness, through peace, and through happiness. Can that give you a sense of burning desire and awakening? 6 neighbors, the first neighbor outside. Someone referred to during the discussion, neighbor, yes, I believe yes. First neighbor is the world outside. Why I'm busy if the world is not there? Busy is not. But if I'm not the world, then I reorganize. I put the things into step by step. Busyness is gone. Second neighbor is the body. Do you see that, For the body, we have the first two steps, the place, position, and posture, and being comfortable. But on the other side, when we look at this neighbor, body has a birth, sickness, health, and the death. But if it is a neighbor, that I'm separate from it. So that perspective is taken here. And the third neighbor is the energy body, hunger and thirst. It is that hunger and the thirst creates a craving for the wealth, power, and position. That builds the ego, and then ego creates a delusion. Then all the desires are with the delusion. But when I see it is a neighbor, why it is a neighbor? So there are two main elements, hunger and thirst. If you are not hungry and thirsty, this neighbor doesn't disturb you. Fourth neighbor is the mind, the mental body, mind with the sense organs. When we say neighbor, it has not only energy, it has not only the body with the motor organs, the world outside of people, event, and relationship. We'll talk about it. Fourth neighbor is the mind. Mind runs with the with attachment and detachment. Okay, so I have to discover during the day you analyze your daily where you are attached, where you are detached. It will help you to say goodbye. That neighbor, you are my neighbor, you are not me. And the fifth neighbor is the ego and the intellect. When we have a strong likes and dislikes, it comes from the same mind. When the mind is obsessed with attachment and detachment, and it forces the intellect to accept that like and dislike creates a delusion. And the sixth one is the ignorance, and behind that we have a real self. Without the burning desire, we cannot reach to that. Burning desire means that we have to cross many obstacles on the path. Many obstacles. We have already 6 neighbors. We have delusion, we have attachment, we have upset, we have busyness. And then we move into the second stage. Now you are looking at the breath. You are looking at the breath. I think you understand. Looking at the breath means flow of the breath, no change. You return him into a higher awareness in stage 2. From that point of higher awareness, we do these purificatory practices. And we have 3 centers, basically 3 centers of impurity. The intellectual impurity, I have a wrong conviction. Mental impurity, carried out by the delusion, strong likes and dislikes. And then we have impulsiveness. And we have the 3 centers. So let us follow with the first center. Look deep inside the forehead. Look deep inside the forehead, yes. And you start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath, both from the belly and the rib cage. You first inhale into the belly, then into the rib cage. Breathe out from the belly, breathe out from the rib cage. Just check, are you able to do long, deep in the hissing breath? Anyhow, you have to breathe longer and deeper because you are breathing into the belly, then you continue breathing into the rib cage, breathing out from the belly, breathing out from the rib cage. Say in a yoga class we say breathe deeply, but we don't tell what does it mean by breathe deeply. So you have the lower lobes of the lungs should be filled, which expands your belly, and then the upper lobes of the lungs, which expands your ribs. So I'm making it very clear that you expand your belly first, then your rib cage, you squeeze your belly and your rib cage. Continue long, deep, and hissing breath. We are in the stage 2. There are many other practices which also helps us to purify the mind. We may take up those steps later, but you should remember all these 20 and 21 steps by heart so that you can put yourself into meditation anytime, anywhere. Whether the impurities from the impulsivity attacks you, or from the mind, or from the intellect. And now leave this, return to the normal breathing pattern, flow of the breath. You check if the flow of the breath is equal and enjoy the state. We may find some changes. Now is the time to focus deep inside your heart and then start breathing deep, long and the hissing breath into your rib cage only, leaving the belly. Today our lesson has a longer practice, so at least you should be doing a longer practice every day. So that we can cover our concepts and the principles easily on Thursdays with a shorter practice. Remember, you are expanding your rib cage and squeezing during inhalation and exhalation with awareness deep inside your heart. Sorry. And return to the normal breathing pattern. Check the flow of the breath. If it is equal, good. If it is not, the flow of the breath in both the nostrils are not equal, that too is good. You just wait. Experience the change. Perception. And look inside the belly button and start breathing long, deep, and the hissing breath into your belly. You inhale deeply into your belly, you expand your belly, and you squeeze your belly. Yes, it may happen that your mind will object in the beginning. It will stop breathing long, deep, and the hissing. And you forget delusion. You don't forget, you return to the long, deep discernment. So you have to apply that discernment all the time during the practice. Long, deep, and the hissing breath into your belly. Now leave this, return to the breath awareness, experiencing equal flow or not, but experiencing the changes. It may be tingling, numbness, freshness, or a sense of self absorption. All are okay. In that state, you start breathing deep, silent, and slow. Deep, silent, and slow. As you inhale, you move your mind from the top center of the head down into the spine, reaching to the tailbone, singing mentally Shanti. That Shanti ends at tailbone. And while breathing out, you start singing again, moving the mind, rising up, reaching to the top of the head. Shanti. So that is our first experiment with the Om Shanti, with the deep silent, slow breathing, and deliberately pushing the mind deep inside, that you leave. Don't be scattered. You live with that deep, silent, and slow breathing into the spine. It takes imagination. Yes, you can imagine, you can feel, you can visualize. No issue. Because in the next session, in the next step, we are going to leave it. So everything has its role. And now leave this, return to the normal breathing pattern. Watch the breath, and you start dropping Om Shanti on the breath that is not changing. In the beginning, we started with the deep silent, slow breathing. Breath was changing, mind was moving, Om Shanti was done. But now you see that we say, oh, breath as if, even though it is a dynamic state of the breath, but we say, oh, just leave aside the movement, any change in the breath. We are dropping the Om Shanti on the breath. So all these 3 and 4 typical movements of the mind in this meditation will help you to progress faster. Already spent 5 years and years. Buddha spent 7 years, 6 years. 6 years means what? 24/7. And the third Om Shanti, now on the 16 segments of the fingers. So mind transitions, from one state to the another, and still other. That changes the very quality and the perception of the mind. After all, we have to perceive and directly experience, whether you say awakening or realization, through the same mind. So the mind should also behave all equal to awareness, almost equal to awareness. It is not awareness, it is not consciousness, and that is the journey. Continue. We are still, now we already transition into the stage 3. We are dropping Om Shanti on the 16 segments of the fingers. And now, moving the mind inside the heart, visualizing the triangle. Then moving the mind on each side of a triangle and dropping Om Shanti, clockwise and anti-clockwise. And checking if there is a sync. We did Om Shanti with a long, deep, and silent breathing. We did Om Shanti with normal breathing pattern. We did with the 16 segments, and this is the triangle. 4 different ways the mind has to be tuned. You will ask me why. A real self is multidimensional. We are preparing the mind, at least. And once you find this thing, push the mind deep inside the cave of your heart, singing Om. Mind seems to stop. You drop Shanti. You have already transitioned into the 4th stage of this meditation. After that, what you are going to do? Nothing. Just happening. You have an experience of tingling, numbness, images, vision, colors, lot of others. Sometime what you have experienced in the dream also returns, and so you need not to worry. You are already have a strong foundation of an observer and observed. Why to worry? That goes a long way. Otherwise, it takes a long time for us to separate observer and the observed. Those people who do not have a strong base, and then comes the hallucinative experiences. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your Buddha palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms and stay there for a while and ask yourself what happened. What is your experience? And then bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. Beautifully done. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you very much. That was right at the beginning. You said your mind is like I can't remember if it was a TV or radio station, just scanning all the different stations. And I just observed that, but I didn't get attached to any radio station or TV station along the way, is my analogy. So it was very peaceful, very transcending. So thank you.
Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sure, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, absorbed, peaceful. Thank you.
Beautiful. How are you, Samir?
Sir, it was very deep, and I quickly went inside mind, and nothing was there. Listening to you.
Beautiful. You see, that is why we say satsang is important. How are you, Christina? Yes, yes.
Thank you. I had it was long. It felt long until we got into the heart space. So I had the radio going on, but I was letting them pass, which nothing was affecting me. It was just kind of distracting. But once we were in the triangle of the heart, I usually don't see colors, and I know to not be attached to them, but it was like this blinding white light, and it kind of startled me, so it went away, and then it came back when I was dropping back into the heart, but it was a very peaceful experience. Thank you.
Beautiful. Yes, yes. Let any vision colors come and go. We watch, we are a witness, we are an observer, we are not attached to it. Beautiful. How are you, Dennis?
It was a seamless practice. The mind was focused, followed every step with awareness. The last step, the darkness, it seemed very short, like a few seconds. All I can recall is that the thought, like it's very comfortable and peaceful, and the next moment I hear you chanting Om Shanti. So
Oh,
it was very short,
yes,
but also very peaceful.
you are right. That duration was almost very short, but it was not short for a few seconds, but it was shorter for a few minutes. Normally, I spend 5 minutes. We spend about 1 or 2 minutes. But yes, you notice that's really good. How are you, Christina?
Thank you. I could feel my parking place for peace keep within me
Good.
today.
So it should remain parking. It should remain at the parking place. It should not go out of it today. So that you have to report in the next session. How are you, Stephen? Namaste.
Thank you. Completely absorbed. Thank you.
Very good. Wonderful. And how are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. So mind became calm. I observed some jerks during the practice, but otherwise it was calm and peaceful.
Yeah, yeah. We get all those jerks maybe because of three levels of impurities, either at the level of intellect, level of the mind, or the impulsive nature, unconscious. So let it happen. It comes and it goes, it releases. But we have already taken care of through all the steps, that they do not become wild. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We'll meet again.
Thank you,
But
sir.
if
Namaste.
you can all do it, such a deeper practice with me, so you should be doing the same practice with yourself.